All right, the next item is to approve the pound puppies contract. Could I get a motion for that? Okay, Kevin, in a second. Mike? Um, Now, discussion, I just want to make a couple of points about this. As you know, I am not on the Facebook, but I was told there was a Facebook post regarding this contract saying that it's a violation of our ordinance. So our ordinance says that we take the dogs to the pound and they're kept there for 72 hours. And that's what our previous contract said. But Patty and Joe asked for an extra day to try to find the owner. So in the contract, we say that the dogs will be kept there now for 4 days or 96 hours. And the other issue that the anonymous person had was that when our ordinance says when an officer picks up a dog, whether it's licensed or not, it goes to the pound. So right now, because the pound is full and they're working to make room for our dogs, I had said at a public meeting that if your dog is licensed, and at this time, if we pick up your dog and it's licensed, we'll contact you. Yes, you'll get a dog at large ticket, but your dog won't go to the pound because, of course, there's no room for him right now. So I did. I do have a message to our city attorney to see if I need to add an addendum to this contract stating what it is, a 6-month service agreement. It's not a permanent solution, but for now, I feel that it meets the needs of what we're asking. And we're also working with the people who have the pound to allow that extra day. So even though our ordinance states 72 hours, I believe that this agreement for this 6-month period can override that ordinance. So I'm waiting for clarification on that, but I think in the meantime, um, until we get an addendum or clarify it, I think we can go ahead and vote on it because as we've discussed at the meetings, we don't really have a lot of options. So I'm open for discussion or input from any of you if you have any comments about it. I don't really feel like we have to respond to every anonymous post, but it is kind of frustrating. Yes, Mike.
Well, in effect, Mayor, as far as the cost goes, 72.96, it makes no, 72 hours, 96 hours, it makes no difference in the cost.
Right.
And so they're keeping an animal alive one more day so they can try to find the owner
Or try to adopt it.
or adopt it, yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot of luck with adopting the dogs at the pound. There's 5 dogs out there now. If anybody wants to adopt a dog, it's the right thing to do, I guess, if you're thinking of getting a pet, to adopt one from a pound. Yes, Mike.
How does that process work? So then a dog's brought in with no, well, my dog would have a license on it. So without the license and stuff, then there, in a sense, maybe no identifying.
Well,
They could have identification on it without a license. I get that.
They might have a chip. And
Right.
then we need to remember that sometimes, occasionally, not frequently, but the dog that's brought to the pound might have been from a crash. And so they're going to maybe try to keep that dog a little longer or to try to find the owner. So sometimes it's from some kind of an incident that they end up with the dog, and then there have been some owner surrenders, which they're not accepting anymore. I mean, you can't just take your dog out to them and say, I don't want this dog anymore. You can try to adopt it or whatever, because they're good-hearted people. They don't want to put any dog down, and of course we don't either. But we have to be realistic. So after 96 hours, then either the police or the sheriff will go pick up the dog and take it over to the vet. That is an expense for the city. We will be paying for that. But
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I didn't make it clear. I guess I was wondering if somebody's looking for their dog, besides actually going out there physically, is there any way to look online and see these are the dogs? I mean, I don't know.
they have a Facebook page and they show pictures of their
So
dog.
they would show, and then somebody whose dog is missing could
Mhm.
check it, and therefore.
Right.
Everyone that gets taken out there, they take pictures of it,
Mhm.
post it,
Yeah.
discussion. Aside from the 30 pictures throughout the neighborhood that, okay, is this your dog? Just trapped in my yard. I
Yes.
think that nobody's pets here are gonna be.
Well, we're not rounding up anybody's pets. That's kind of ridiculous because that was another Facebook page that the city is going to kill your pets. Of course, we're not. But if the dog is running loose and it gets picked up and it has a license right now, you'll get your dog back. And of course, if it has a license and it ends up at the pound, they'll also be notifying you. But then you'll pay a $40 a day fee at the pound and you'll have a dog at large. And if it's the fines go up, the more often that this happens. So we hope people will be responsible pet owners, but there are some people who just get rid of a pet and then get another one. So anyway, any other discussion about the pound puppy contract? Yes, Mike.
Not so much about the contract, but kind of, but down the road, just we could run through the ordinance. I'm not sure why we have 72 hours. You could have a time specified by the council. And therefore, a couple of years from now, you guys decide that you want to have it longer, shorter, whatever, then you can do it without changing the ordinance. And the other one was, again, it makes no sense. If I know it's this person's dog, sure, they're gonna get a ticket, but why take it out there and go through that rigmarole? If send them a call and they could, however the police want to handle that, but I mean, that's the problem when you get too much in there, then they're not as flexible, but so maybe down the road we'll do something with that.
Okay, any other discussion about loose dogs?
It might be worth clarifying that that kennel that the city purchased, it's out at the shop,
Mhm.
is in case they run into a rabbit dog or something, or
That's the
suspect.
only thing it's
You
for.
can't take it out to the kennel with 5 other dogs, and they don't have the capability to keep it separate, right? So we have to keep it out there just in case.
It is there in the county. I mean, when we did that, the county had nowhere to put a dog for a rabies observation, and neither did the city. And I had just gone to a meeting with the county sanitarian where 18 people had been bitten and had to have rabies shots. That was at the very beginning of my term. And I couldn't believe that could happen in such a small town, but now that I've been the mayor for 20 months, I see that's kind of common around here. 15, 20 people getting bitten a year is not unusual. So the fact that they couldn't locate the dog was the problem, and that's why they all had to get rabies shots, because the dog could not be located after it had bit all these people. So yes, we do have a kennel that is for rabies observation, and maybe down the road we will be able to have a dog pound at some time. Who knows? But it isn't going to happen in this budget year. So I feel that we need to be thankful that these guys are willing to do this, and at least we have a temporary solution to a long-term problem. So anyway, then we can move to the vote. So all in favor of approving the pound puppies contract, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, the next